Hi, I'm Coach CoachClemens, and welcome to another edition of Tips for a Perfect Season. You know, I do a lot of talking about the three things that I believe ought to drive youth sports. Number one, that kids got to learn something. They got to learn about the game. They got to learn about themselves. They got to learn some life lessons. Two, they got to be competitive. They got to be at the right competitive level. They got to learn how to compete. And three, they got to have fun. Well, today I want to talk a little bit more about fun, kind of some how-tos behind having fun. Now, some of it is just, either you know how to have fun or you don't. And a lot of that is up to the individual. How can you make a situation fun? But as adults, and we think about ourselves as parents or coaches and working with kids out on the field, there's certain things that we do in terms of how we set up our practices, how we set up our teams, how we interact with the kids that will bring more fun to the game for them. And the first off is laugh. I mean, there are so many funny things that happen at a field, in the dugout, during practice. Laugh. And be willing to laugh at yourself, laugh at other kids in a playful way. Get them laughing about the funny things that happen or the fun things that happen. Make jokes. Kids love jokes. But when they're laughing, they're having fun. Second is help them feel like they're part of something larger than themselves. That they're part of something special, that the team they are, that the team that you've created and that they're on, you're trying to achieve some important goals. That being a part of something big and important or new or different to them is fun. It's part of something larger, and that really does drive fun as well. Third thing is we got to make sure that kids aren't bored. If you've got 3 or 4 kids, or 5 or 6 kids even, that are out there on the field standing around with nothing to do, that you're not engaging them in some sort of way, then they're bored. And that's no fun. And that's a sure way to kill their passion and make them question whether or not they want to come back. Baseball's boring. How many times do we hear that? As coaches, as adults, we need to make sure that whatever they're doing, whether it's on the field, in the dugout, there's something going on that they need to be engaged with. Because fundamentally, kids they want a challenge. They want something new. They want something interesting. They've got a natural curiosity for things. And so as coaches, engage that. Ask them questions. If they're standing around and you're working with some other kids on a drill, ask them some questions. Get them engaged in what's going on. Fourth thing is, you want to make sure that the kids are feeling good about themselves and their accomplishments. I remember a time where my team was in about a 3 or 4 game losing streak, and it wasn't so much that we were losing games, it was the way we were losing games. We kind of lost our zest. We had lost our sense of fun. The kids were kind of trudging around. There wasn't a lot of energy. Several of them were uptight. They were uncomfortable. It didn't look like we were having fun out there. So what I did before our next game is pulled them aside, took them out in the outfield, sat them down and said, all right, guys, I know you all have the ability to have fun and play this game well and be competitive out there. Our next game, we're going to do that. And the way we're going to do that is capitalize on some of the things that we've done in our last few games. Now, they all stared at me because they all knew that we had been in this losing streak and they didn't like it any more than I had. I said, no, each of you has done several things that are really good, and we need more of that. And then I proceeded to break each of the 11 kids, break it down, and single each one out for things that they had done well, whether that was fielding a ground ball, whether that was an at-bat, whether that was something in the dugout, supporting a teammate. Anything that they had done in terms of hustle or the things that our team values in terms of performance, attitude, effort, hustle, singled those things out. I'll tell you what, the attitude and our energy level and the amount of fun we had in that game was off the charts. Those kids sprinted back into the dugout. They were laughing again. They were joking again. They were engaged. They were having fun. And the reason is we were able to connect what they were doing back to having fun. So those are just 4 of the things that you can do as a coach to get your kids engaged. There are plenty more, and that's the fun of coaching, is getting to know the 10 or 11 or 12 kids on your team and figuring out what makes them tick and helping them enjoy more of the game. Well, this has been Tips for a Perfect Season. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, here's to your perfect season.